Jeff. Hey, Jeff, I want to take you for a ride. I think it's time.
You talking to me? I'm sorry, you must have me confused with somebody else. My name is Harry.
Harry, Jeff, whatever. Harry, Jeff, I know who you are, and I want to take you for a ride. Just for a few minutes.
I don't know. I'm a little apprehensive about that. I've been taken for rides before. Oh, what the hell? Whose car is this?
You're the passenger, Jeff. Okay, Jeff, Harry, whatever. You're the camera. Okay, Jeff. Now we're going for a ride. Don't forget your seatbelt. Okay, Jeff. You're doing a great job, Harry, whatever. But you've forgotten who you are. So I'm going to take you around. I'm going to show you the real world, okay? Whiskey's Tavern is a set. The world you live in your story, is close to a perfect world too, and I think you know that. A, B, C, D, E. You hear me say that all the time, don't you? It's in your script. I know, you don't really look at a script, but what I'm saying is A, B, C, the E. If you can't see the E unless, which would be A, B, C, D, if you can't say it, because G and H are silent, right? We don't know what is. We know that A is an indefinite article, but that's really all we know. We know A is indefinite, so we can't know A. We know B. B is a body, maybe an ego, a body in an ego in a body. But what you have to understand while you're doing this part, you've got a lot of information to convey to Abigail. And so if you're not aware of what you're sending her, all hell's gonna break loose, because you to listen to music and amuse yourself, but it's not. It's always commenting on your situation. The radio is the soul blood of your soul. It connects all of us. We are one through the radio and the television. It tells a vision, but you have to know how to look at it. You have to be a good listener. See, I got these. I got D here, and then I got D free. You got it? D free is a pretty good gear. You can really haul ass in D3, but still, we have speed limits, so, you know, we have to watch ourselves. But you are the king of my world that I created. You're the king of it.
You can win a key that could unlock a Chrysler 200 Limited convertible from Lake Huey.
The commercials have just as much to say as the music does, if you know how to listen to it.
See the car and sign up for another chance to win at WMYI.com. You can win.
This is my 102.5. It's my 102.5. Now, a lot of people don't believe that. You know, people in my world, they think I'm crazy. I could give a fuck, but I don't. I'm going to take you where I live, where I write what you do. I'm not higher than you. I'm not over you. It's just that you've forgotten that you're Jeff. You think that you're Harry. You think you're king of that world, and you are king of that world. but I'm like the chairman of the board of your world because I write it. I shoot it, everything. I'm the camera, the creator of that world. And right now, you're having trouble drawing a line in the sand. And we've got to draw a line in the sand in that world, or we're just going to keep going and going and going. And God knows I don't want to do that. I want to wrap this thing up. And that's kind of what this is all about, wrapping up the show. And, you know, there's going to be some actors who never get to be in the show. And there's going to be some actors who are in the show who aren't really in the show. You know, they're extras, and they have to make a decision. Do they want to approach you about being in the show? Do they want to approach me and get in the show? But the wrap is for sure. We are going to wrap the show. You've been here before. I don't know if you remember it. It was a long time ago when we were talking about doing this show. Take somebody home. I think that's kind of funny, you know, because I am taking you home. So, I love to drive fast, but I don't mind driving slow. I think the world is in perfect time with itself, and when you're frustrated with it, you're just looking into the future too far. You just got to slow down, take it easy, not be impatient. And we're looking pretty good here. My sister's home. Yeah, you did a scene with her not too long ago. And so just keep rolling, okay, with your eyes there, and we'll just go on in, okay? Let's go. I hate to do this to you. I really hate to. But I didn't know what else to do. I didn't know how else to reach you. Somebody changed the code on me? Nope. Hey, doggies. Big, this world, just a little higher dimension than the one you're working in, that's all. We still lock our doors around here. Get out of the way. And this is where we have a lot of chats, but you don't always remember them because you're dreaming sometimes. You're kind of asleep. Gotta watch your step around here. Okay, have a seat right there. Now, so like I said, it's getting to the point where the show is getting monotonous. I'm ready to draw a line in the sand. But you, every time I set you up with a situation where you can draw a line in the sand, with Syria or with Obamacare or whatever, and of course, you know, whatever that's going to turn out to be. But Ward, you know, Ted Ward, president, he's got some good ideas and he's got some crappy ideas. But I created him that way to challenge you. That's all. So, you know, I know, I'm kind of scaring you because you're still asleep. You still think you're Harry, but you're not Harry. You're Jeff Warren. And you have a life here in this world. And I just wanted to, you know, take a little bit of time, which is something a lot of actors don't get, you know. And you've been in plays and you've done things, but you are so much more than Harry. You are far more dimensional than Harry is. And we all are. I mean, I'm not God. I'm just if you'll pardon the expression, the god of the real deal maker. I make the decisions in the script, and I run the camera and all that stuff. Yeah, I know you don't see me doing that most of the time. And I make an appearance once in a while. Not usually this obvious of an appearance, but you're going to have to draw a line in the sand. It's either going to have to be you or Jennifer. Sorry, Abigail. You probably know her as Abigail by now. And if you're not willing to do that, then I'll have to let her do that. But you're going to have to pass the power to her. I know your bloodline, but you have no children. Your character, I know Jeff has children, but your character, Harry, has no children, and you've got to pass it on to somebody. And so you've got to get her ready to make that transition. Now, I'll write it for you, but you're going to have to say it. And you're going to have to say it like you mean it. And I will show you everything I know over the course of this film, if you want me to. If you want to wing it and improv, that's entirely up to you. What do you say, Jeff?
Improv's always scared me a little bit.
Okay, well, that's good. Speaking of fear, I, in my world, believe that God and Lucifer are one and the same. And I don't mean that God is the devil. I mean that they work together. I think they have a dollar bet on what's going to happen to this world. Is it going to go just totally berserk chaos, or is there going to be some beautiful ending? Mm-hmm. And, Lucifer's job is to tempt you, to get you to be afraid. That's what his job is. Not to burn you in hell, but to be afraid of burning in hell. Sure, that's his job. Mm. And, God's got angels, Lucifer's got angels, but not really. They're really all on the same team because there is only one team. And that's what Harry knows in his heart. He knows there's only one team. And so when he sits down with two warring factions, like the Jews and the Arabs, he doesn't get it. He doesn't understand why they can't see that they're brothers. Jewish, you wish you were God's chosen people. That's how I feel about it. Arab, they study Islam. They believe in Islam. Islam. How hard is that to figure out? So, take the T out of Christian. Say, just go ahead. Say Christian without the T.
Christian.
Close. Like we pronounce it.
Chris I am.
No, we don't pronounce it that way. How do we pronounce it? Christian. Take the T out.
Christian. Christian.
Okay, now say Grecian.
Grecian.
Now say Christian.
Christian. Christian Grecian.
Yeah, you're so close, but you're not pronouncing Christian the way we pronounce it. It's Christian.
Christian.
Shun. You gotta have that shun in there.
Oh yeah. Christian, Grecian.
Yeah. You hear a difference? Not really.
Not
a little
really.
bit. You see, there's so much mythology out there. I got books and books of mythology all over the place. And yeah, Jesus may have been a real person. I don't know. But I do know there's something over me. Some power. And I don't know that power is really over me or if it's a part of me. I don't know. And it doesn't matter as long as my life continues. And I think that the CIA has a lot to do with death. CIA, the indefinite article. Now, see, in my world, I might get killed for that. But at any rate, you have everything you need in your script. And you do improv sometimes, and it's good, it's funny. But this meeting between our minds is about understanding that there's no separation between us. You are me, I am you. We are one. We are a character, but we are an actor above the character, and that actor is a person. And you can think of it as the sun in the sky, you can think of it as the Son of God, you can think of whatever. We are a person. We play each other. I'm playing right now, but I'm serious. Do you have any questions?
Well, what you've been saying has caused me to think about, good and bad and that sort of thing. And I've often wondered, would we know how good is if it wasn't for bad?
It's relative. How about this? Would you know what 1 is if you didn't make up a 0 to account for nothing, even though there's no such thing as nothing?
Exactly.
So you make up bad or good. That's a dualist theory. I'm not a dualist. I believe there is one thing that plays all of it. And you have your ego. You're basically a flesh and blood robot with this spark of everything that we are. And that's what I am. But I'm not flesh and blood in your world. I'm the author. And you'll write your own things. And that'll be your world. You have your world. I gave you a world. You just won't draw that line in the sand so we can get this fucking thing over with. Yeah, they share the same consciousness we do. They just have a smaller decision space because of their physical brain. Bugs too. Everything. And you signed off when you went into this role, not necessarily as Harry, but when you signed off on your role as Jeff, you signed on a dotted line, I will abide by the golden rule. Well, what's the golden rule? Do you know the golden rule? Do you remember what you signed off on?
The golden rule is to treat others as you would treat yourself. Is that the right one?
Love your neighbor as yourself, is the way Jesus said it. Love your God above all things. But see, if you love your neighbor above yourself, in my opinion, you are loving God above all things. And, Moses broke the 10 Commandments, or rather he broke the golden rule when he wrote the 10 Commandments. I mean, I don't see why that isn't just painfully obvious to people, but it's not. And I understand that, and that's why there's so much fear in the world now. There's nothing to be afraid of. Your body has built-in fear mechanisms so you don't jump off a cliff or blow your head off or something like that. Something stupid, get in a fight with Barry over at Whiskey's. You don't want to do that. He's a big guy. So you have obvious fear, but irrational fear is pointless. All it's going to do is hold you back. And I don't think Harry's afraid of anything. He's king of the world. Granted, he doesn't make a lot out of it. But that intrigues me. But now is the time, and I'm just going to say it one more time. Draw the line in the sand so we can end this thing. Some people are going to go over to the other side, the people who are afraid. Some of the people who are afraid are going to come over to our side. And that's when we draw the line. And the number of people who come over to our side may be very small. It may only be 144,000 and I. And on the other hand, might be 144,000. Might be 144 million. It might be 8 billion people. That's why I say there are 8 persons in the world, because you turn it on its side, and it's what?
Sideways.
A sideways 8. What symbol is that?
Infinity.
There you go. There's potentially an infinite number of actors playing characters. But I see it as 8 because I frankly can't deal with 8 billion in my world. So what are you going to do about that line in the sand?
Draw it.
You think you will?
Yeah, I think I will.
Who are you going to start?
Getting something to draw with.
sand and a big toe.
Or a big stick.
Yeah, big stick. Yeah. Walk softly, carry a big stick. There's nothing wrong with that. But a big stick symbolizes irrational fear. The fear that somebody's going to do something to you.
Yep.
And, yeah, that's the whole problem anyway. Everybody's carrying a big stick. Not everybody, but a lot of people are. Peephole, you know? Until you see that you are in a play, you're in a movie, you're a peephole.
Mm-hmm.
You're just a peephole for me to see my story. I'm a peephole for Raphael or whoever it is that's above me to see my story. You know, Big Brother up there for a reason. It's not the reason everybody thinks it is. You know, they think Big Brother's up there to spy on them. But Big Brother is up there to make something happen. Come on. What are you doing?
Get down.
There you go. Oh. Come here, Georgia. So Big Brother is kind of an icon kind of thing, but it's getting ready to set up things for heaven on earth. But we got to weed out the people who aren't abiding by the golden rule. And the only way to do that is to have somebody watching over those people. And there is somebody who's watching everybody. I'm watching everybody in this story. I guess I'm kind of like the big brother of this story. Georgia, come here. Small decision space. Just love you. That's all they do. They just love you. Dog, God. Wonder why they're backwards. I wonder if maybe dogs are really the gods, and you know, because they certainly have it made, don't they? Except for the ones that aren't treated well. But you know, there again, if they would give the male dogs a vasectomy instead of destroying their gonads, well, we'd have something. And of course, I don't see why female dogs can't have a hysterectomy, or not even a hysterectomy. Just have their tubes tied. Why do they have to be? Why does their whole sexual life have to be destroyed? Convenience. That's why. Convenience. Fear. Fear that all the animals will mate and they'll take over the world. That's the fear. It's ridiculous. Lucifer. Lose the fear. That's all he's saying with his name. Pretty cool guy, I would imagine. God, not crazy about that name. What if God evolved down the alphabet one step? Well, that would be HPE. But if you kept that O, you'd have hope. I don't pray, and I don't wish for things. I just hope. I hope, Jeff, that you'll remember some of what we're talking about, and you'll apply it to Harry. And that's really all I wanted to say to you. You want to go ahead and see the dailies?
Sounds good. Okay.
The only reason your car's not a spaceship to you is because you think you're driving on a road. But you're not driving on a road. You're driving on an illusion. And there's a lot of religions that believe it's an illusion. To think that this world is real is crazy. It's a virtual reality. Now, there's a guy, his name's Tom Campbell, and he's a physicist, and he's got it all worked out about how the world is a virtual reality. And I like a lot of the stuff he does. He's kind of like an engineer of virtual reality. Whereas to me, he believes in an individuated unit of consciousness, but I don't buy that. I think that that consciousness is one thing and it evolves as it evolves, and consciousness plays us all. And if you listen to the rest of your consciousness coming back at you, like the radio, for example, or a person talking to you, if you're really listening to what they're saying, not the mundane crap about the day or the weather or whatever, but actually listening to the metaphoric use of the language, then you're really hearing something. But, you know, most people don't do that. But Harry does that. It's it's intuitive for him, and it's not really it doesn't really give you power. But like you look at a license plate, and even the license plate is connected. It has a consciousness to it. It's everything is consciousness, you know. The huge ensemble of consciousness has created the universe, but it was always there. There was never a time. It's not linear. You know, if you want to pursue the Big Bang Theory, that's fine, but something caused the Big Bang. So, you know, Christians, when they're arguing about the Big Bang and saying, oh, no, that's not the case. Well, sure, they're right, you know. They're right. You're still talking about some supernatural thing that caused the Big Bangs. I say there was no Big Bang. It's just always been here. And consciousness, it just continues to evolve and evolve, you know. And eventually, it's going to be kind of like Star Trek, where there's no money, and we already have communicators, right? I mean, it's just as we evolve the metaphor of life, then we evolve as human beings, or we don't. And if we don't evolve, and I'm not saying you have to be good, I'm saying you can be good or bad or whatever, as long as you know you're acting. But if you don't know you're acting, or you're beating up on somebody who doesn't know you're acting, that's breaking the golden rule. And I have a problem with that, and so I don't write a story like that. And if somebody in my story starts getting out of hand, well, then I'm going to walk in and tell them to cut it out. All right.
You're gonna have to go get in your booth. Can't sleep here.
I can sleep in my booth?
Yep.